And the second fruit we talk about is divine love. Ah, again, you have to experience these things. It's all about the experience. It's not about the knowledge. It's not about reading it in a book. It's not about the words. When you experience divine love, when you experience the love of God falling on you, flowing through you, it's unlike anything, definitely unlike our little human attempts at love. This love is healing, this love is comforting, this love is illuminating, this love is hopeful, this love is perfect and loves me perfectly in this moment. And absolutely, it's transformative. It transforms all relationships in your life. It transforms you, relationship to self, but relationship to others. You can, when you're loved with the love of God, when you experience this divine love, you start, like, the internal healing. It's a process, and thank goodness it's a process, because I have to be honest, it's not always an easy process. When you're healing something and you're hurt, it's not like immediately the love and light come in and you're all healed and now the pain is absolutely gone. You may have to go through it more. You may have to see it in a different light. But the healing is beginning, and the healing may take some time. But once you start that healing process and those wounds in you start to close, or looking at it another way, the wounds in you are now allowing the light out instead of the darkness in, then you'll start to go, oh, I'm starting to understand about this divine love stuff. So that's fruit number 2, and it's a big subject. Love is a big subject, but how much we need it. I mean, we're in this world. I think I always look at it as like it's the number one thing. You know, a child who is not given love withers. That's how much we need it. It's an essential part, and because it's flowing from the heart of God, and what happens here in humanity, we know that we can block that love from getting out and block it from getting in. I'm not worthy to receive it, so I'm not letting any of that love in because I'm not worthy. We think that. And I'm not letting any love out because when I let love out, I just get hurt. So I'm not letting the love out. But I say the quality of my life was greatly increased by my ability to give and receive love.
Absolutely. And bear with me a minute as I say one of my other favorite quotes, which is from Jeff Spagnoli, Fast Times.
He has so many. I was wondering which one it was going to be.
Fast Times from Ridgemont High. And I know this is a spiritual talk, so this is a secular reference. But one of my favorite lines is when he says, "I can't give you what I don't have, man." And how that pertains to this is that we must first receive so that we can give. And when we are receiving from God, the supply is abundant, eternal, infinite, an infinite amount of love. An infinite amount of forgiveness, an infinite amount of acceptance. So when we receive that, then we're able to give it to others. And it's actually the giving of love that causes love to increase. Yes. When you go through life going, why don't people love me? I need to be like this and do this to get people to love me. Oh, I found somebody who loves me. Oh, wonderful. I really feel good about myself now. Oh, they don't love me anymore. Now I feel horrible. Now nobody loves me. See, because you're chasing after something as if it was outside of yourself. But when God comes to you and does 3 things, which these were the heart of Jesus' ministry. Judge not, lest ye also be judged. Forgive others, so it can be forgiven unto you. And love one another as I have loved you. The reason those are so important to me is because my direct personal encounter with God, the first thing I noticed was that there was no judgment, and certainly I had done things that I wasn't proud of, some that I was ashamed of. But God sidestepped that and looked beyond that into the heart of who I was and forgave me and loved me. So as I show up to love others, I start with the first step, which is not to judge them. How did they, oh, that person's so horrible. They did this, they did that. Well, it's actually true. People do horrible things. But I just suspend that judgment. I'm willing to forgive them, and that makes the way for God's love to flow to them. And now I'm loving with the love of God. And my heart is uplifted, because if I hate them, my heart is undone. My heart is destroyed. My heart unravels. I'm poisoning my own heart in hating. So no matter how vile somebody's actions or behaviors are, it does no good whatsoever for me to hate them. And so as Bright Star said, God said, be ye therefore perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. So you go, what do you mean? God's love is perfect, meaning that it shines on the wicked and the just. It shines like the sun. So the sun on any given day is shining on everyone. It doesn't ask you if you're worthy to be shined on. And so we can love like this. We are loved like this. And when you experience, all my life, I tried to forgive myself, but I just found that I was inadequate to forgive myself. And when I saw that, at one time I broke down before God and I said, I don't want to forgive myself. I want to know that you forgive me. And when God forgave me and loved me, it lifted me up. And that's when I was free. I was free from it. And that's when I began to be able to love others the same way. So that's the beauty of divine love. And I'm convinced that a human being cannot produce divine love from their human egoic self. And so it is that encounter with God that teaches you and shows you the fullness, the magnitude, the divinity of God's love, meaning that God doesn't divide. God doesn't divide that greater love.
He loves all of us.
It's divine. There's a oneness in it. And it shines no matter what. It's sometimes shining as a beckoning for us to come out of the darkness, to come out of hiding, to come out of the shadows, to come out of the illusion that we're not good enough. And as soon as you let go of that shame is when you stand directly in the light of God and you see yourself as a child of God, which is exactly how God sees you. So that's that peace, the divine love.